right, greetings everybody, and welcome to week number 13. That is right, week number 13 of your 7314 class, which is your reference class. As always, I'm your professor, Dr. J.S.K. Austin, and we are going to have a shorter check-in video this week than we typically do. The reason for that is I'm not going to be introducing you to a database this time around. I am actually going to be referring you to a YouTube channel. So that's what you're going to learn about today. And there's not a whole lot for me to actually say if I'm just introducing you to this YouTube channel. But first, let's get into the state of the course update, and then we will get into that channel. So there is not a lot to say with the state of the course update. The main thing that you all need to be aware of is that, well, first of all, I do want to apologize for last week. Our guest speaker, Dustin Koopman, is no longer with me at Continent Public Library. I'm not exactly sure where he is now or what he's doing. I didn't get any sort of goodbye or anything. It's pretty sad. But having said that, because I don't have a way to reach him, there was no way to actually have a synced session. And so I apologize for that, because that synced session tended to go over very well in previous courses. So I do hate that we will not have it this time around, but I do wish Dustin well, and I hope that whatever is going on is something positive. Hopefully it is a step up in his career, and hopefully he's enjoying his next chapter. So with that said, yes, I apologize, and I apologize that last week, therefore, really didn't give you, with no check-in video and no guest speaker, it really didn't give you anything beyond the course materials to kind of sink your teeth into and grow with. But hopefully you were able to use that time to actually improve, well, enjoy yourself for one thing, but if you actually needed that time to finalize your LibGuide or help finalize your LibGuide or work on the semester-long project or something, or do the discussion board post, hopefully that is what you wound up doing. I do also want to say in that same respect that, yes, if you have not turned in your LibGuide as of yet, it is due. You need to get it to me right away. And then once you turn in that LibGuide and once you turn in the discussion board that was due on April the 14th, from here, your sailing is actually pretty light. You do continue to have readings and everything that you have to complete in the course. But outside of that, all that you have left really is one discussion board prompt and then your semester-long project, both of which are due in May. So you don't really have anything else written that you have to turn in, and I'll be getting those Wikipedia edit assignments and those LibGuides graded over the remainder of April. And then the LibGuides, I might be grading those into May, so I apologize for that. But you should have your Wikipedia edit assignments back before April ends, okay? So that is something for you to hopefully look forward to. It's just kind of, from here, taking it a little more easy. We've really only got 3 weeks left in the class, weeks 13, 14, and 15. So you don't have much course content left. You all are almost there, and you've done most of the heavy hitting for this course, assuming that you have turned in your LibGuide on time, okay? So, yeah, with that, be encouraged. And from there, what we want to do is talk about a YouTube channel. So here is what I wanted you all to kind of be aware of. So let me first say this. So I've got a lot of experience as a reference librarian, and in that time, yes, I handled all sorts of inquiries, including business inquiries, including health and all the other things that you can think of. But what really gave me the most trouble in my professional librarianship practice was the government documents, okay? And that's in part because those questions these days, they just tend to come up a little less frequently than they did in the past. And so nowadays, a lot of librarians don't really work with SUDOC numbers and that sort of thing very often. So they can be fish out of water, to give you the honest truth. We can be fish out of water when we get confronted with government documents questions if we are not trained as government document librarians, and if we don't work with SUDOC numbers very often, and so forth and so on. And if you don't know what a SUDOC number is, then look it up, because that's what you librarians need to be doing, is looking stuff up. But with that said, because we know that you all are going to need support in this area, there is actually a YouTube channel that I would recommend that you all follow if you're interested in, or subscribe to if you're interested in eventually becoming a public services librarian. And that YouTube channel is Help, I'm an Accidental Government Information Librarian webinars. There are over 800 subscribers, and that's not a whole lot, but that does show that there is some importance with this subject matter, and that this particular channel is viewed by a lot of people who do want that type of support. Now, I would also say that this channel, I think, is about 8 years old, and it doesn't put up a lot of content. So it's not something that you're going to see a lot of new stuff from a lot, okay? Actually, I'm going to scroll down to see, okay, 8 years. Yeah, so it's 8 years old. The oldest things on here are 8 years old. And a lot of this stuff, a lot of these webinars are still very, very relevant to some things that you would want to be doing, particularly if you are going to be a government information librarian. But yeah, so this channel it's not updated with any particular frequency or anything like that. And some of the information, just honestly, in some of the older webinars may be out of date at this point, and I don't know that they are actually seeking to update the information or the webinars that are out of date. So I've not heard anything about that. With that said, if you don't look at any other, like if you want to look at one video from this particular YouTube channel and you don't know which one to look at, then I would recommend this one here that you see right away in number one, the tips, well, the one that I see right away, which is Tips and Tricks for New GovDocs Librarians. I thought about actually making this mandatory content within the class, but then I decided there was enough content in the class and we didn't need to do that. So I figured I would just continue to refer students to this particular video in check-in videos, okay? And I've been doing that now for about a year and a half. So in the check-in announcement, there will be a link to this particular video as well as a link to the channel. But this is your way to kind of get yourself immersed a little bit into the concept of government documents librarianship, what the challenges are, what you need to know in order to do it properly, so forth and so on. And I don't think very many of you, if any of you, are actually going to become government documents librarians. That's why this channel is named what it is, Accidental Government Information Librarian, is because a lot of people really do not set out to go into that particular area. And then the people that do, a lot of times they are very niche and very specialized in the type of work that they do. And it's not, a lot of times those people will even have like prior experience with working with government documents and that sort of thing, so they feel it's a natural fit. But I would say probably most of the librarians who end up being government documents librarians are people who, they're librarians who found themselves in that role just by happenstance, or fate just kind of guided them there. That's how their career trajectory went. They ended up with the job because they were looking for a job, and that's what they ended up with, okay? And that may apply to one or two of you, but it's not going to apply to a lot of you. So with that said, you still may want to have this in your toolbox. If you're not going to be working with government documents very often, then you may want to have a resource like this in your toolbox so that when it does come up, you will be ready to respond appropriately, okay? But that's really all I need to say. If you do want to watch one of the videos from this account, just so you can see what it's kind of all about and see if, see if government information librarianship might be right for you, or to even just have some background in what would be expected of you if you went into that line of work, then this is where you want to be, okay? So with that said, there's really, again, not much else to say. I am Dr. Jace, and we are going to, well, how about we are all going to end up someplace? That's what we'll do. I am Dr. Jace, and we are all going to end up someplace. And for some of you, that will be business librarianship. For others, health librarianship. and many other things, but maybe one or two of you will be government information librarians as well. Anyway, toodles, we will see you next week, and I'll see you on the discussion boards. Bye-bye.